Welcome back to No Filter Auto. Today, we're talking about an underdog story that rewrote the rule book. This isn't a tale of brute horsepower or flamboyant style. It's a story of balance, brains, and budget. The late 1960s. The world sees cheap transportation as dull, and performance as expensive. Then, from Japan, comes a box on wheels that refused to accept that compromise. This is the Datsun 510. The poor man's BMW. The car that taught the world that Japan wasn't just here to compete, it was here to win. Let's set the stage. America is muscle-bound, Europe is refined, and economy cars are penalty boxes. Enter the 510, known in Japan as the Bluebird. It looks honest. A simple, clean, three-box sedan with crisp lines and zero pretension. But under that unassuming sheet metal lay a secret weapon: fully independent rear suspension, using a sophisticated Chapman strut design, a feature previously reserved for expensive European sports sedans like the BMW 2002. Combined with a front strut setup and a lightweight body, the hook wasn't power. It was handling. It was the promise of engineering purity at a price anyone could afford. But here's the no-filter truth that made the 510 a legend. It was a masterclass in the whole greater than the sum of its parts philosophy. The 1.6-liter overhead cam inline-4 made a modest 96 horsepower. But it was smooth, rev-happy, and bulletproof. Mated to a slick 4-speed manual, it powered a car that weighed barely over 2,000 pounds. The result was a power-to-weight ratio that, combined with that brilliant suspension, created a driving experience that was revelatory. The appeal was intellectual and visceral. It communicated everything through the steering wheel and seat of your pants. It was predictable, balanced, and incredibly fun to drive hard. It gave the average driver a taste of sports sedan nirvana, without the luxury price tag or maintenance fears. Now, let's talk about the pure, unfiltered experience. Sliding into the vinyl upholstered cabin, you're met with a simple, logical dashboard. 3 round dials stare back. The gear shift is a perfect, short throw. You fire up the engine, a distinctive, mechanical whir that settles into a thrifty hum. On the road, the steering is direct and full of feel. You pitch it into a corner, and it just goes, flat and composed, the independent rear end keeping the tires planted. You work the eager, free-revving engine through the gears, not for massive thrust, but for the sheer joy of maintaining momentum. It's a car that rewards skill and punishes clumsiness. The sensory experience is one of mechanical harmony, the symphony of 4 cylinders, the click of the shift linkage, the firm but supple ride. It's engaging in its purest form. Here's the reality of its impact. The 510 became a giant killer on the racetrack and rally stage. It dominated its class in SCCA Trans Am, beating more powerful and expensive rivals through sheer handling and reliability. On the street, it became a cultural icon for a generation of enthusiasts who discovered they could buy, modify, and race a car that was fundamentally right without breaking the bank. It was the gateway drug to Japanese performance. So, the no-filter comparison. Its target was clear: the BMW 2002. The BMW had more torque, a more premium image, and cost significantly more. The 510 had sharper, more neutral handling, was cheaper to buy and run, and was arguably more reliable. It didn't have the Bavarian badge, but it had the Bavarian soul, distilled and made accessible. It also humbled bloated American sedans in the corners and outclassed every other economy car on the planet. It appealed to the smart money, the driving enthusiast on a budget, the racer looking for an advantage. The legacy of the Datsun 510 is the foundation of Nissan's performance reputation, leading directly to the Z-Car and the Skyline GTR. It proved that Japan could build drivers' cars with world-class dynamics. It created the template for the modern sports compact, lightweight, rev-happy, independently suspended, and utterly focused on the driving experience. The Datsun 510 stands as a monument to engineering integrity over marketing hype. It is the humble box that contained a revelation. It wasn't built to be the fastest or the flashiest. It was built to be one of the best driving cars in the world, full stop. And for a breathtaking moment in time, it was. If this kind of story about affordable genius and driving purity speaks to you, hit subscribe to No Filter Auto. Let us know in the comments, was the Datsun 510 the most influential Japanese car ever built?